All right, so now let's dive into Turo's host protection plans. I'm really glad that we're doing this now because a lot of changes already went into effect, and I really don't anticipate any upcoming changes to Turo's host protection plans. This video is as of September 2020, and if there are ever any changes, I will definitely update this. So right now, Turo has 5 protection plans that a host has an option to choose from. The nice thing is, if you have multiple vehicles, you can choose different protection plans because it's based on each vehicle. So you can have one on like the premium coverage, one on basic, or however you want it, whatever makes the most sense for you monetarily, right? And the way that you pay for your host protection plan is determined by your revenue split with Turo. So what I mean by that is this. For example, Turo's most premium package, insurance package that they offer to a host is called their 60% plan. So what that means is if you choose to purchase that 60% premium package, you as a host get to retain 60% of your earnings, while Turo takes 40% in exchange for that premium protection. So that's the revenue split, right? And then they have a 70 plan, a 75, an 80, and an 85. Out of the 5 plans, 4 of them have deductibles, and the 60 is the only one that does not have a deductible, of course, because you're paying a premium in your revenue share with Turo. And I will share with you guys my recommendations and what I use, but also I want to say this is that I do think personally, and what my strategy has been, is that insurance protection packages are also dynamic. I don't think that you just choose one and that's just what it's going to be for the life of your Turo experience. Some people do that, and I think it works fine for them. But I think you have more revenue generating opportunities if you also keep your insurance dynamic based on how business is going. So I'm going to do a quick screen share so we can take a look at the 5 packages, and then I'll share my recommendations with you guys. Okay guys, so I'm here on Turo's website looking at the 5 different plans that they have. These first 3 lines are very important to look at because it's going to show you each plan, what the deductible is on each plan, and basically what your revenue split is. So you can see that the deductibles do range from $250 to $2,500 out of pocket from the host. An important thing to note about the deductibles is that you don't actually pay that deductible to Turo when something happens. What they do is that they just deduct that amount from the total payout of whatever the damage is going to be. So for example, if the damage was $1,000, then they'll take out $250 and pay you the remainder balance for the repairs to take place. So that's how the deductible works. Basically, you just kind of want to scroll through this stuff. The main thing to know is the deductible and what your revenue split is going to be, but it's very informative and important that you read through the fine detail. It's very easy to understand, but it's just a matter of taking the time to read through it. Now, these other little things like physical damage reimbursement, coverage for a replacement car, things like that, of course they don't play a huge role in your claims process, but it's good to know because you just want to make sure that you're being paid out for anything that is owed to you based on the different plans that you are on. So you can find all of this on Turo's website if you just simply type in host protection plans on their FAQ or support page. Another thing to note is that damage that is covered on any protection plan other than the 60 has to be 3 inches or more. When you're on that 60% plan, it can be under 3 inches. So that is an important detail. Okay, so now that we're kind of familiar with what the host protection plans look like and what they cover, let me share with you guys what my take on it is. So in any business that I've ever had, my primary is to always manage risk to the best of your ability and to where it makes the most sense to your bottom line. So the reason why I believe that your host protection packages should also remain dynamic is because business changes all throughout the year. We have our busy seasons, which is usually during the summer, and then we have our slow seasons, which is usually the beginning of the year. And it can vary based on whatever is going on. And this year is a prime example where we had just a major world crisis that no one anticipated, and it really did affect business. So what I personally do is, based on how business is going, I will adjust my host protection package between two packages, 60, the premium, and then 70, which is the second tier package that has a $250 deductible, and Turo takes 30% of whatever your earnings are. So the reason why I do that is when business gets really slow, I don't want to take on the financial variables of accidents happening and taking on additional costs of deductibles, right? Because you can't anticipate that and you can't pre-calculate that. So for example, when the pandemic happened, I upped my insurance to the maximum because, to begin with, I already wasn't making that much money because it was such an anomaly, crazy times. And so while my cars were going out, they were going out at lower day rates. There was more risk, so I didn't want to take on any additional financial variables. So I just upped my insurance to 60%. That way I knew if anything happened, I'm 100% covered and I won't have any out-of-pocket expenses while I try to keep the business afloat. And that's exactly what happened. There was an accident or an incident that happened. I forget exactly what it is. And I'm so glad, because business was already slow, that I didn't have to come out of pocket. Now, when things get really busy and business ramps up, what I like to do is work out the math, right? Figure out what you would be paying every month. You can calculate this. You just do the math. If I paid 30% to Turo versus 40%, what is that difference? And if on average, I'm seeing, say, 2 claims a month, which on the 70% would equal out to be a $500 deductible. But if I took in 10% more of my earnings, that would mean an additional $2,000 per month. Then it makes more sense for me to lower my host protection package, take on the risk of the deductible, but I'm making more money to my bottom line. So this is actually more profitable for me because business is so busy. So that's how I sort of dynamically change my host protection package. And again, at the end of the day, it's just a mathematical equation, right? You take your monthly revenue and you look at what the difference would have been if you pay 30% in insurance or if you pay 40%. And if on average you're seeing, 2 to 3 claims per month, calculate what your deductible would be, and if you're making more money by taking a higher percentage or less percentage, and you can make the decision based on that. So that would be my host tip, my little strategy that I use that keeps me profitable and more money going to my bottom line. All right, guys, let's move on to some more insurance gray areas and questions in the next video.